Hey everyone, welcome to the post-game show. That was a massacre.
Yeah, that was turn 3 we tapped.
Bottom of 3? Yeah, I think so. I think it was bottom of 3, only because... Was that 3? Might have been 4.
Yeah, that was 3. Because
yeah.
You guys came in on 2.
There were a lot of key moments in that game that just didn't go the way of the Oh, by the way, people, it was a Dark Angels victory. For those who didn't know, this is post-game. A lot of things did not go my way. Early in the game, Psychic Powers got failed. My Devastators completely whiffed to take out a single Vindicator. And that was huge.
And I mean, statistically, you should have at least
done something.
2 glances or something.
I know, because it was 4s to glance, 5s to pen. With 4 las cannons with 1 Signum and with Tank Hunter.
Yeah. So
huge whiff.
You had 3 hit, I think, and then...
No pens or glances.
No pens or glances on 3 dice re-rolling. You just need like...
I know. And that was pretty brutal. My Psychic Powers really failed today. Biggest one was later in the game, Invisibility not getting off. Because that allowed...
5 dice.
On 5 dice. And it failed. And I could not believe it. Because that would have made him a lot harder to hit. Both in close combat and in... basically would have kept him alive. Other than that, then the key position was I had to go for your veteran squad.
Yeah.
Continuous Eagle. And I got a lot of points back that second turn. But then the Devastators the Vindicators once again just perfectly scattered on top and wiped out the rest of my army.
Yeah, we were saying afterwards, if I had actually just pie-plated both of them down to decide where they wanted to go, I wouldn't have placed them any differently.
No, you hit every guy of mine but 1, which was just a Tactical Marine. And then you end up killing my remaining Terminators, all my Tactical Marines but one Sergeant, and my Chaplain.
Yeah, when you go back through and you take a look, I don't think I failed to wound on a single die for all of that mess.
No.
Every single one was
every single Vindicator hit wounded.
Yeah.
And again, that squad of Devastators, if you missed with 1 wound, it would have kept my Librarian alive, for example, because he was the farthest one away. But everyone hit and wounded.
The Chaplain, yeah.
But early on, the very first
early on,
Norse cover. As I thought, the triple Vindy list is strong. It's pretty strong. It alone did most of my army.
Yeah. If you had done, say, if you had shaken one of those Vindies, that takes away the Apocalyptic Blast.
True.
So I think what we saw today was the absolute worst case scenario, just running roughshod through them. But I still don't think that's that likely to get off. So
it depends, I guess. As we discussed, because turn 1, I had to really position myself weirdly.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I couldn't put any guy within 30 inches of you. Because if I put any guy within 30 inches, you could just put a hole on him and then possibly scatter on and kill more guys.
Yeah.
With an Apocalyptic Blast, a little bit of scatter would actually have been advantageous, and you could have wiped out a good chunk of my army. So I don't know. It's a good question. I guess it depends on who goes first, who goes second. If I went first, I would have open fired at it with pretty much everything I had turn 1, and then turn 2, with my reserves would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But going first was a huge advantage, I think.
What it does do, though, as you were saying, it really dictates the positioning of the units and target priority. And going against now, if you had something like a drop pod with a melter gun, whole different story. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But then even with that, first turn I moved up, pop smokes, night fighting, so I'm looking at a 4-up cover save from any shooting. So that's pretty big. Yeah,
and I did fail. I also failed my Norse cover. I rolled 4 dice and failed. No, I rolled 3 dice. No, it's a 2-up, and I rolled out 4 and failed it. I rolled all 4 less than 4. But even so, I didn't even get a glance or a pen.
Yeah.
So it was huge. Yeah, Vindicators did a lot of work. My MVP? I don't know. I was able to catch one. Yeah, Chaplain probably, because he brought that one squad. Yeah, and he killed Ezekiel by barely surviving. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do, was kill Ezekiel. My Librarians did okay. A couple of them did okay, but the problem was they died. One Librarian got taken out turn 2, which was just a blast. And then, yeah, I failed a lot of armor saves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that's the game. And then the cards, my cards were mostly obtainable, I think.
Yeah, mine were okay. The one thing that was kind of interesting with this one is I don't think really, for either side, I think maybe 1 or 2 cards were, babysit objective X.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them were take out this squad, take out squad, something other than babysit objective.
And I got lucky that was like, kill 1 squad, kill a character, kill a vehicle. I'm like, I did that all in 1 turn. Yay. Yeah, and then if the game went on another turn, it would have just been, my assault marines would have survived the shooting because you couldn't shoot them by 1 assault marine in combat.
He might have actually lost assault though.
That's what I'm wondering. He probably could have died in assault.
Yeah.
And then you probably, with the 2 Vindicators, would have finished off the 2 of them.
And the Land Raider.
Oh yeah, the Land Raider, I even forgot about
the Dreads.
Yeah.
So what did I actually lose? So I lost 1 Vindicator.
Lost a Vindicator.
And my vets.
And your vets.
And
Ezekiel.
Wow.
Yeah, so 500 points? 600 points?
Yeah, about that, about 500.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So, so the whole idea of the list today is, I mean, I want to try out the triple Vindy because everyone's, the sky is falling with the apocalyptic blast. This, you really saw the worst case scenario, so definitely my MVP for the game.
Yeah.
The Dreads, I want to try out the triple Dread to see how good they would be, and they were pretty darn good. I mean, if they had assaulted beside Ezekiel, they would have been getting 6 attacks each on the charge. That's pretty swell.
Yeah.
And then the veterans. Dark Angels are the only chapter left, I believe, that have a dedicated vet squad like that. I mean, you've got the Stern Guard and the Veteran Guard.
Blood Angels might be my only thought. Maybe them. Maybe. Everyone else, no.
They're really more of the Death Company now.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, and they just have so many options. You can try some really neat things with them. They have a lot of attacks. You toss Ezekiel in there. I was hoping to get Rage with one of my, 3 out of 50-50 chance there. So that would have been even sweller because, then they would have been getting
6 attacks in the charge?
6 attacks each on the charge, 10 guys, 60 attacks. Toss a chaplain in there for good measure and just, to make sure that whatever you killed, you extra killed.
Yeah.
And they took out that Tony squad without skipping a beat.
Yeah, but I also failed. It was like I failed 4 wounds in a row on that one. That was brutal.
Yeah, I think I did 6 wounds and you failed 2 of them. Oh,
no, I failed 4 consecutive wounds. It was that was the one where I failed 2 librarians in a row for 3 ups, and I failed 2 terminators in a row. Yeah. So I have 4 straight wounds. Otherwise, they would hit back and done a couple of wounds probably.
Yeah.
Maybe killed 1 or 2, but yeah, the early saves were really bad on. That's the thing with Terminators. I find if you roll well, you're in good shape. A few ones and it's just like ugh.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was an interesting matchup. I wasn't thinking this was going to be as hard of a list as it was. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still think that the triple Dread is scarier than the triple Vindy, but it doesn't appear like that in this game.
No. The only problem, or the triple Dread, the big problem with the triple Dread list is they're slower. They only move 6 inches a turn, so you can kind of avoid them.
Yeah.
For most of the game if I wanted to, and they easier to kill. They're only 12 up armor.
Yeah.
And 2 all points each or 3?
I think 3.
3 all points each.
You want to say 3? I might be wrong.
Versus the Vindicators, which are higher armor, front armor, they can pop smoke. So can so can them. And yeah, that unfortunately for a lot of armies, the large blasts are just nuts.
Yeah, I think for the Dreads, it's just that assault potential of 5 attacks each on the charge base. I mean,
stupid invisibility. I know, because then you're like, if you got 6 attacks each on the charge, or was it 5 attacks on the charge?
5 attacks base on the charge.
Those 5 attacks, if I did invisibility, probably would result in what, 3 hits?
Yeah, but if you had gotten invisibility off, that's only 2 warp charges. You're tossing 5 dice at it, right?
Yeah.
And then I still had 8 dice to deny the witch. So,
You should have had, in that case, maybe. I think I rolled, maybe, yeah.
Because I think you got 5 on
Yeah.
that. So
Could have been done. Yeah, could have been denied.
I mean, definitely with this one, like we had 2 psychic, very heavy armies. And there was so little psychic powers that actually got casted.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like I think I don't even know if I got 1 power off.
And for me, I failed most of them.
Yeah.
I think I got 1 off and then you denied.
I think you maybe got like maybe 2 off. I got maybe 1.
I got the fleet one off at turn 1.
Yeah.
And
we both got the harness the warp the
Yeah,
turn
after
our
our
last cycle.
yeah. I was like, stupid card. Because if I got that earlier in the game, I was hoping to get that early in the game because I could cast 5 powers and get D3 points easy.
Mind Worm. Oh my gosh, we were reading up on that one, and
has potential.
Yeah, you lose 3 off most your stat line for the entire game.
But it's only in the model.
I
think it's the model, not the squad.
Even for that though, I mean, holy jeez.
Yeah. Like I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's the model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a character killer essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, against something like the one thing I'm really finding with Dark Angels is they are probably if not the best, one of the best now Nid killing armies out there. Like they will just chew through Nids like no one's business.
Them, but I agree. Them and Space Marines in general, I think. The Vanilla Marines in general would go through Nids. Again, the triple Vindicator list is the bane of any Tyranid list existence. Because Apocalyptic Blast... Also, Tyranids have no answer to Armor 13. So
at range,
Nothing.
They're hoping to get the monstrous creatures up within range to assault. So you're probably looking at turn 3 assault by the time they move up. You move back a little.
The only thing you have to fear is a Flyrant flying over it and shooting it from behind.
Which we've seen how incredibly effective that is.
That could be 2. But turn 1, all you do is, if you can get the area, you drop the blast right over the Venom Thropes.
Yeah.
And just annihilate them. And annihilate a good chunk of the army. Especially if you go first, your opponent can't go flying at that point.
Yeah.
So you would kill anything on the table that is not toughness 5.
Toughness 6.
Toughness 6, right.
Yeah, which is most of the Nids.
Everything but the monstrous creatures.
Yeah.
Everything but. You would instant kill all warriors.
Yeah.
Right? So it would be brutal. And all would be left would be a Flyrant and whatever monstrous creatures
and then you'd have to worry about snaps after that. Because usually people use those warriors that can't bounce around.
Yeah, in general. And then, again, same thing with the Dark Angels and even White Scars as well can take out. Yeah.
But even after that, I mean, the Deathwing Knights are almost designed to just take out monstrous creatures.
Yep. And Dark Angels...
So what, Strength 6, AP 3, and then you can do the Smite if you want to, which...
Yeah, and the good benefit I do give the Lion's Blade Strike Force is their overwatching is amazing against Tyranids, because Tyranids have to assault you.
Yeah, and that's scary, because, a normal round of assault, okay, that will take out some, but you can usually survive it. But you're basically getting a double assault, or
double round of shooting
off, and that's scary.
Especially Dark Angels, I think against Orcs and Tyranids are going to be brutal because, especially against Orcs, because they're so slow. You can probably get 4 rounds of shooting before they get into assault with you.
Yep.
At least 3, especially if you go first. You'll just keep blowing them off the board, and then they assault, and you shoot more and kill them. And Tyranids especially as well. They rely heavily on cover. So, or you can go the triple Predator list for either, and then you get tank. Then you get Monster Hunter.
There was that one formation in the back that gives you the Land Raider, and then you have to take a unit. I kind of think there's some merit to that with the Predator, and I mean it's a lot of points, but
at least with that one, I think the Land Raider, because the cool thing about because the Dark Angels version is the Land Raider, it becomes part of the formation.
Yeah.
So you use the Land Raider to absorb all the shots off the Vindicators, and just because again, even last Cannon Fire. It goes from 4s to glance, 5s to pen, to 5s to glance, 6s to pen. No, reverse that. What was I shooting? Yeah, 4s to glance, 5s to pen against Vindicators. Yeah, to 5s to glance, 6s to pen. Yeah, against Land Raiders.
Yep.
So it knocks it really out of proportion. And worse than worse, you destroy Land Raider. and then the 3 Vindicators pop up and just drop.
Or I'm thinking with Preds, with las cannons.
Or even with the Preds blast cannons, same thing. You keep them alive, and you don't even have to do anything, so it keeps it safe.
Because then also with those, you don't have to worry so much about the positioning of blasts, which really starts to become a factor with Vindies.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we saw today was the positioning was key. There were only a few there was like one model that you could target in that surrounding area that could hit other ones without hitting your own, which is why I intentionally ran my guys into the squad, because we looked at that rule before I did it. I was pretty certain you can't target with blast your own guys unless it's a scatter.
Yeah.
So I intentionally ran my guys who couldn't make it into combat still into the swarm so that you couldn't target them freely. But then you targeted one of the guys that got pinned.
Yeah, the squad that got pinned.
Yeah, which was huge too. Pinning was good. I think pinning early on in the game,
you know, all in all, I was pretty happy with how they performed. So,
yeah.
I mean, the Vindicators and the Dreads were both thumbs up. Mm-hmm. The triple Vindy, I'm still not completely sold on, but wow.
Yeah.
Ezekiel, I remember playing him before and having that 2-up armor. You know, we were talking about for the challenges. I really kind of forced his hand, not really in a good way because I ended up going against the Power Fist, but having a 2-up armor is pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of psychic powers where, say for that vet squad, I could have ended up giving them a 4-up invul, which 20/20 hindsight probably would have been a better bet. I wanted to kind of play around with the different psychic powers, and I was kind of hoping for Rage, but...
Rage would have been amazing.
Yeah, but, you know, even, there's the one, this is the divination that gives you a 4-up invul, and then the Primaris of that one lets you reroll the hit. So, lots of promise there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, but yeah, I think the new Dark Angel ones are interesting.
Yeah, I still don't think they're quite as strong as
the
Space Marine one, but there's some neat stuff there.
There's some neat stuff. The thing is,
there's the flyer with the strength 10 AB2 blast. That's kind of neat. That can do a vortex.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat.
The thing is the key, the kind of where the Codex shines. If you're taking Dark Angels as is Ravenwing, is I think. You know, but again, if I brought the thing is, I was actually going to bring Ravenwing today.
Oh, okay.
It would have been hilarious because you would have just dropped the pie plate and removed all the Ravenwing at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Apocalyptic Blast can hit. It's crazy. Even
that ignores cover.
That ignores cover, right? Because it's even if I space out my guys 2 inches, you can still hit 9 bikes. I think with an Apocalyptic.
Well, if you're spacing them out pretty well and daisy chaining them and what have you, you're probably looking at maybe 5. But I mean, you're still basically you're pointing at a squad and removing it.
Removing it all from play on 2s, and there's nothing. And that's the thing with Ravenwing is like they get to reroll their Jink.
Yeah,
cool.
And first turn. I mean, one of the things with them is first turn, it's going to be pretty easy once you get Night Fight going in there and Skilled Rider without, psychic powers and other shenanigans. It's going to be not too hard to get a 2-up rerollable Jinx save.
Yeah. Our worst 3.
Yeah, and that's, even 3-up rerollable is still very survivable. Like, you're looking at 3-up rerollable base and then 2-up on some units.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
But so then you're kind of looking at the Ravenwing gets up there, they're all there, but what are they going to do once they get there? And that's the part I'm still struggling with.
Yeah, that's what I'm still trying to figure out too. Like in some lists, what I'm going to try with Ravenwing eventually is loading them with grav guns.
Yeah. Trying
them out with grav guns and seeing if they can do something. Like against the triple Vindy list, you basically have to go balls to the wall. So if turn 1, if it's Dark Angel, if it was my turn 1. I would have had to go for your Vindicators with all the grav guns I have, trying to remove 1.
See, what I think is sort of a dark horse, pardon the pun, with Dark Angels is the attack bikes. The attack bikes with multi-melters are not all that much more expensive than the base Space Marine bike. Now, the base, so I think Space Marine bikes are still about 18 points and Ravenwing are about 25. So that's a pretty big tax. Rollable Jinx kind of takes the edge off that. But the attack bikes, you're still getting all that benefit, and you're not paying that much more for it. So I think there's, something to be had there.
Oh, definitely. I definitely think so. And we tried it a couple things out today. They're fun. That's the great thing about it. I'm trying out a different Space Marine list each time.
Yeah.
People are going to keep getting mad at me. I haven't posted any battle reports yet, but I got to get some vehicles. Because my guys are just running around on foot, and that's failing.
Yeah.
Eventually, I got to get some Razorbacks and stuff.
Well, next time I pop over, just let me know what you want. And that's the joy of having a ridiculous
amount of Space Marine stuff, yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at some of the Demi Company stuff, and
yeah.
I think I've already got 8 to 9 drop pods, Razorbacks.
Nice. So you could do the double Demi Company thing. Interesting.
I could potentially do it. I'm not really sold on that, but also I wasn't that sold on the Vindies, so who knows if I know what I'm talking about anymore.
Vindies equal good. That's what this game. Oh my goodness. That trio of vehicles. I think I did the math. It just came over just over 800 points of stuff that you killed or devastated.
Yeah.
At least.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Only on 2 turns.
Yep.
Craziness. Yeah. Imagine 2 of those.
600 points.
Yeah, because in 1850 point games, people are thinking right now, I'm trying to take 2 of them. Because then you have 2 apocalyptic blasts, and your opponent would just...
I think in a good all-comers list, you should be... Because all you need to... Well...
Depends on what army you're facing.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is get a shaken or stunned, or do something to one of the 3. But, I mean, the trade-off there is then instead of apocalyptic, then you're looking at 2 large... Strength 10, AP 2... Blasts. And that's nothing to sneeze at either.
No.
So, what it does more than anything else is controls the pace of the game and dictates the targets.
Yeah, and especially try to stay away 30 inch. Like, we got lucky today with our hammer and anvil. If this was a normal Dawn of War, it would have been really hard for me to avoid you.
Because I would have just put them center of the table.
And I'd have to go corners.
Yeah.
As a response, so I'm 2 guys. I divide up my army,
and then I just shift focus,
and you pick on one.
Yeah,
exactly. So hammer and anvil is the only table scenario where you have a bit of depth, so I can start that far away from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was really interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave comments in the comment section down below what you think. Is the triple Vindy list too overpowered? We'll see. Time will tell. Of course, the thing is, right now I think we have a situation where we're going to get about 5 or 6 months with no codices.
With all the
fantasy stuff. So it'll allow time to set, and we'll figure out how actual things set. Because we had so many codices within such a short period of time, it's hard to tell how things will set up. So, as always, thank you very much for coming. It was an awesome game. It was efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, till next time, this is Jay and
Dave.